Hey everybody, I'm Sharpened Blade, and today we're going to take a look at the CRKT Symmetry. The reason why normally I have my knives deployed, but I just find it looks so nice like this. You almost can't tell it's a budget knife just by looking at it. You know, it just kind of looks like a higher end knife than what it actually is. It's just a budget knife, but the design is just overall very nice design. You don't know it's a budget knife until you see CRKT. But yeah, I bought this from Integrity Knives. I will leave a link in the description below to their website. At the time of filming, the Symmetry is still in stock, so head over there, pick one up if you want to. They have lots of other stuff on their website too. When you do find something you want to buy, use discount code SharpenedBlade to receive 10% off anything that they have on their website. And using that discount code helps support the channel because they see that people are watching my videos and are heading over to the website, and it just helps support the channel. So thank you in advance for using that code. Now this is a Richard Rogers design. It has an 8CR 13 MOV blade steel, which is not a surprise, but this is a budget knife. It's $65, $64.99 to be exact, on Integrity Knives website, but with my discount it brings it down to $58.49. So for a design this nice, I think that's a pretty good price for it. It has a blade length of 2.75 inches, a handle length of 4.19 inches, a blade thickness of 0.09 inches, a handle thickness of 5/16 of an inch. It has an overall length of 6.81 inches, and it weighs 2.5 ounces. So, like I say, it has a 8CR 13 MOV blade steel, stainless steel handle material with a GRN insert that looks like carbon fiber. It has blue hardware. It has a very interesting pocket clip. Place to put your lanyard if you want. The grind is pretty even. It's very even, especially for a budget knife. You get a little bit, it's just going to focus, you get a little bit of a, okay, focus. I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but yeah, you can see where they sharpened it at the choil. It kind of comes up here, which is not ideal, but it's fine for a budget knife. We will do some size comparisons. So that is the Rat Model 1, and this is the Rat Model 2. So it is centered a little bit better. Smaller than both. Let's compare this to the Squid. So I got them at the same time, and it will, where did I put the Squid? Actually, let's compare it to the Pilar. This is a very popular model. And we can also compare it to the Squid. So it's bigger than both of those, but it's smaller than both of the rats. So anyways, it's a decent sized knife. It's not something you're going to be using very hard because it's just, I shouldn't say it's just, but it's a slip joint. It has a double detent system, so you can kind of see both the detent balls right there. Try to keep it in focus, and then that holds it in place. It's a fairly strong, let's focus again, it's a fairly strong detent, you know, for what it is. You don't have to worry about it. If you're careful with it and use it properly, you don't have to worry about it like closing on your fingers, because it is, like I say, for what it is a fairly decent detent on it. It's a bead blast finish on the blade, which is great for camera because it doesn't have the glare off my lights, but I think it would look a lot nicer with a satin finish on the blade, or even just a stonewash finish. I don't really like this finish. I just find it looks kind of cheap. So that's one nitpick I have on this knife. It's a hollow grind, so it is very slicey. It came very sharp out of the box, like most of my CRKTs do, and it does slice very well. So overall, the design is very nice. However, usually these kind of knives are fun to fidget with because they don't lock, so you can flick them open and then flick them shut very easily. However, with this, I have had issues with that. I don't know if it's just my fingers or what. I've shown this to a couple other knife guys local to my area, and one of the guys he had the same problems I had. He couldn't comfortably deploy it consistently, and like you can get it sometimes, but it's just not a confident deployment. Now the other guy, he eventually got it, and he was getting pretty good at it. So I guess it depends on the person and on, you know, the dexterity of their fingers. However, I'm going to zoom this out a little bit so it's not quite so. I have a little bit more room to deploy it. If it just, this part here, see, it sticks up. This top flipper tab, it's a top flipper by the way. This tab sticks up quite high, and it always catches on, you can kind of, I'll do it in slow motion here. It kind of catches on my finger. So I just have to try to remember to keep my fingers out of the way. There. So you kind of almost, I find it's easier if you give it a little bit of wrist too. But yeah, I don't know. I prefer to just slow roll it open. It's a gentleman's knife, so that's also very gentlemanly. See, there. Like, the detent is actually really impressive for what it is, because sometimes I have a hard time closing the knife again. But it depends on how hard you flick it out. But yeah, I prefer to just slow roll it open and then slow roll it shut. I guess you could say it's a much more dignified way to do that. I don't know. No, it's not as fidgety as I would like. However, the design itself is very nice, so I would imagine I will keep this in my collection, just because, I'm going to zoom back in a little bit here. I would keep this in my collection just because it does look very nice on display. I just wish that the blade finish was different, like it would look nice with the satin finish or stonewash finish. I just think it would just make it look even more high-end. And the fidget factor just isn't there for me, but overall it is a very well built knife. The fit and finish is extremely well done. The design is very nice, and it is, I guess you could kind of split the action up. So there's deployment, and then there's the action itself. It's a really smooth action, and it's also very snappy. It's just that I have issues with it catching my finger. Otherwise, it would be very snappy. Well, it is snappy, but it just gets hung up on my fingers. So Would I recommend this knife? Yes and no. I would say get it, but just be aware that you might have problems with it hanging up on your fingers, but eventually you'll get used to it. But it's just, I don't think I will. But it's a budget knife. It wasn't very expensive, and it looks really nice on display, so I'll keep it around for a while. One other thing, going back to this, there's jimping all the way along here, and here, and here. It is fairly aggressive for what it is. You can kind of feel some ridges right here. It's rounded this way, but you can feel ridges, which helps with deployment, but you're really just using this back corner. And if you use more of the jimping up here, it's kind of hard on the finger. I imagine your fingers will get used to it, but it's not really comfortable. It kind of digs in. So I think this could be a little less aggressive, because you're really, like for me, I'm just using this corner anyways, so your finger pretty much will hold onto that corner whether it's jimping or not. But anyways, that's just me. That's just my thoughts. But yeah, make sure to check out Integrity Knives. Like I say, there'll be a description. There will be a description, but there'll be a link to their website in the description, to their website, to this knife specifically, and make sure to check out everything else that they have. And thanks for watching. Take care.